Stop training models that no one in your organization are going to use. Hi, this is Samir Khan from Solve with AI. And this is something that happens in every single organization. Your technical teams are spending weeks and months, sometimes even years, fine-tuning LLM, optimizing the embeddings, building these fancy dashboards, connecting it to the vector databases. Everything seems technically perfect, and then no one uses it. In fact, if you do the comparison of regular projects versus AI projects, there are many studies that shows AI projects failure rate is significantly higher than the regular projects, and then the companies are abandoning these projects. And this is not a small thing. Like you're putting significant dollars and then you're not getting the return on investment, and then eventually you're going and trying to find something new and you're spending more money. So this is a vicious cycle that goes on and on and on. My recommendation and my observation is people are so much focused on the model and chasing the benchmarks and bigger context window that they're forgetting what they're trying to solve for, which is they're helping their internal employees and users solve for the workflows and make those workflows more efficient. No one in the organization are going to really care about the awesomeness of the models. So what I recommend is I simplify this into a framework that you can rinse and repeat every single day, and without getting too much caring about that specific model and the technology, you focus on the outcomes. So step one of that framework is to find the real business bottleneck and problem. Forget for a second what's really trending in the market and stop chasing shiny new object. Focus on things that are repeatable, manual. If there is a structured work like tagging the tickets or reviewing the reports, and that happens every single day, and that is slowing your organization down. That's the first step. Second step is embed AI into your existing workflow. Don't build another app. Don't give people access to another app, or for example, Copilot, or build like a custom model and now give access people to that chat window through the custom model. Integrate with your existing tool like Slack commands. Think for that. If you have Slack, start integrating with Slack. Jira automation, webhook that's already connected to the existing application that you have in your organization. Step 3 is launch a lean pilot. And by lean pilot, I mean is to simple integration with existing APIs for GPT-4 Turbo or Claude 3 or Gemini. Add a vector database like a Pinecone or a Chroma for the RAG solutions, and then pilot it for like maybe a month or a couple of months. And few things that you want to measure from the pilot is to measure the latency. The latency I recommend should be less than 5 seconds. Real world usage and the decision accuracy. Then you can make tweaks to the prompts, tweaks to your vector databases and models based on the usage. And I can give you one example. I was working with one of the companies, and they were doing this for quite some time. They spent a lot of money. They had 13 billion parameters. They had a pretty significant number of documents that are infusing. Okay, instead of doing that, let's just use GPT-4 connected to LangChain and do some initial prompt setup. If you compare that, what we built within a week versus what they were doing for like months, you saw a significant drop in latency. So latency dropped to like 7 seconds. The cost also dropped because you're no longer doing this heavy lifting from an IT perspective. And more importantly, the adoption increased because it connected to Slack, and people started using within the Slack instead of them going to have another model. How can you think about that you can use off the shelf versus a custom model? Well, there are a few things to take in mind, and a few questions that I would recommend is, can the off-the-shelf model get the job done? Is it complex enough that you need to build a model? Can you just use Llama Index or LangChain and prototype it? Can you train an over-the-shelf API to make it better? Or you need a custom model? Most cases, 90% of the cases is going to be, no, I can use existing API and get it done. So my ask for you today is go talk to your team, build a very simple GPT-4 Turbo-based vector database integration, connected with Slack. I like Slack because it's one of the fastest way to show the value that you're driving from your models, improve the latency, and measure the adoption. You don't have to You don't need a fancy GPU cluster or months of fine tuning. And you can quickly go into the pilot and get your users start using the AI. Deploying AI in the organization is not about fancy hardwares and fancy models. It is about having your people start using these solutions faster into their day-to-day workflow. And so my recommendation is stop building models, start integrating with existing AI, real flow of work, and that's how you can get quick leverage from an AI standpoint. And if you want to get more deeper and practical insights, then you can always reach out to me or go to my Substack, where I write a lot about practical applications of AI, which is called solvewithai.substack.com. Again, this is Samir Khan. Thank you for watching.